When it comes to LinkedIn, what should you be posting or should you not post? We're going to tackle that today on this episode and give you some insights, tips that can help you to master LinkedIn. Check it out. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another great episode of the Sales Evangelist Podcast. I'm your host, Donald C. Kelly, the Sales Evangelist, and I'm so excited for another great episode. I'm so excited to be here with you today. And on this episode, we're going to be tackling LinkedIn. Specifically, we're going to talk about 3 different types of posts that you should be doing on LinkedIn. So I'm answering a question from the teaser. Should you be on LinkedIn posting? Absolutely. The data just proves it time and time again. And the reason is it's about 1% of LinkedIn users are actually posting, maybe about 3 to, maybe it's gone a little bit different, but I'm going to be a little bit more liberal with this. And I'm going to say you're probably looking at about 3 to 5% of your LinkedIn users are posting. And there's 1 billion users, 1 billion, 1 billion users on LinkedIn. So you have 1 billion users on LinkedIn and only 3 to 5% of those people are actually posting content on the platform. That is an opportunity. And if you're not taking advantage of it, you're missing an opportunity, tremendous opportunity. But what should you be posting when it comes to LinkedIn? I'll tell you that here in a second. If this is your first time listening to our podcast, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll notify you every time we drop a new piece of the episode, specifically like this one, where it's a little hot take, and I want you to be able to track it, take it and use it and apply it to your sales effort. So let's dive in. LinkedIn. I'm going to give you some experience that I have, and then hopefully this can be able to help you. So the first one I'm going to tell you about is a mistake type of post. These are things that you've learned, because here's the thing that happened on LinkedIn. Most people don't want to post and put themselves out there because they don't want to seem like an idiot or in front of their colleagues, or want to seem like I don't have something professional enough to say, so I'm going to be judged by people who are looking at it. Or I don't want my company to see my stuff and think that I'm trying to, do a side hustle. For whatever the reason, there are a lot of reasons why people don't post, but the most common ones is they just don't feel that they're an expert or capable, have the knowledge to be able to do so, which is a farce because they do. Think about it. If you're a salesperson, you get to ask objection, and you speak to like hundreds and each year thousands of people. Those individuals that you're speaking with, they're giving you questions that are common questions that are issues that you know how to answer, and you can solve that. The point here, you're not trying to be Neil deGrasse Tyson. Big shout out to Neil. And if you want me to come on Star Talk someday, that'd be great. But if anyone knows him, introduce us. But the thing about it though is that particular prospect that you're speaking to is your ICP, and there's a small niche of people that are on LinkedIn that are like, you don't need to be a big fish, a big fish in a big pond. You need to be a big fish in a small pond, and that's just in your network. So let's say I'm in a manufacturing space and I sell a SaaS solution for HR. And let's say the manufacturing is the paper mill manufacturers. So it's even that much smaller. That group of people on LinkedIn, maybe there's 100,000 of them in that world. That's who I'm speaking to. That's my market. Really, right? It's not the billion people that's on LinkedIn. It's just that group of people. And maybe it's 10,000 people that you're reaching out to. The point there is, it's not that huge that you need to worry about, but what you do need to do is share the insight. So if I'm looking at that market and it's something, a mistake that I've done, say I'm, or something that I made an issue with, or an error that I've seen, I'm going to talk about that. Here's one of the biggest errors, mistake that I found that happens in most, and we made in our manufacturing company, or working with manufacturing companies, is that I did blankety blank, I did blankety blank, and blankety blank. Well, these are issues that you're going to share. People are going to resonate and relate to it, and they're going to say, wow, yeah, I don't have the guts to talk about that, but I'm glad somebody else is, because I need to know how to fix this. And then you share, well, this is what I did to fix that. Blankety blank, blankety blank. In my world, in the sales world, it works exceptionally well because most of you are on LinkedIn and you're looking for stuff that can help you out, or you're executives or sales leaders. So I talk about some of the mistakes. I had a call with a prospect. So it might start off like something like this. I made the prospect say no. Well, that's going to be a clickbait. And you're going to say, what did you do to make the prospect say no? Then you're going to want to read on. I had a meeting with the prospect. They sure talked about their solution, blah, 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 blah. They really wanted our solution, but I made them say no because I never asked for the sale. I didn't want to be pushy, so I didn't do it. And next thing you know, they felt like we weren't responding to them, or we didn't want to work with them, and they went with their previous company that we're working with. Point is, I made a huge mistake. I learned somebody else ate my lunch, but now I share that tip. And now someone can listen to that or read that and say, yeah, that resonates. I'm going to take that Donald's tip and I'm not going to, we're going to ask for the sale sooner than later. Blank, blank. The point there is I've just shared my experience, self-deprecating in some way, but it's a lesson learned, a mistake that I made. And you don't have to make the mistake, but you may have made the mistake, but you didn't know how to solve it, but now you do. But now you're following me and now you're engaging on my content. And I could just simply ask, something like this ever happened to you? Give me a like or a thumbs up or whatever. But now you're going to do that. So yeah, I relate to you, kid. God bless you. Now I'm going to start conversation with you on that, and start engagement with you. Send a connection request. You're going to accept it. And next thing you know, we start dialogue in the DM. Money in the bank all day long, because those times people, start conversing with us because it felt like they knew me already. So the first type of post is a mistake. Share your mistakes. Don't worry about it. So maybe you're in manufacturing. You could talk about something that your company have learned, a lesson that your company have learned, and maybe a mistake that you guys did. If it's not going to cost your company major reputation, talk about it. Maybe you get some clearance before you can talk about it. Or just in general, like you've probably seen stuff like maybe share about a client mistake, but you don't have to talk about it give their name. Just share, one of our clients, this is a mistake, that issue that came up, or they did, blankety blank, tell the story. But people could like to learn from that, essentially. Number 2, personal things. I did one the other day, several months, probably like a month ago, back in early December, about my friends and I went golfing. And I talked about how I want to improve my golf game. Now, some of you back in the days, you'll probably say, well, this is not Instagram or Facebook. This is LinkedIn. You can't post that stuff. Like, people want to know you as a personal level, thanks to the COVID era. People want that personality. And LinkedIn for the longest time was this stale, boring type of content. And I'm not telling you go out there and shake your bomb like selling stuff for like TikTok. But what I'm saying is, like, share your personal experience, because people want to get to know you. My golf thing had nothing to do with business sales. I mean, tied to business, because business and salespeople tend to, some of them, golf, right? So that was able to bring it up. But people were able to relate. I mean, the impressions were ridiculous on that post. More people engaged on it than some of my other posts where I share educational stuff, because it was just relatable. It was human. I talked about how my golf game was sucky, and I didn't want to talk about give my handicap, but I want to work on it. I want to improve over in the next year, and then I'll share some of my handicap. So people related to that, and they could engage on it, and we had good conversations. People that I hadn't spoken to in months, we started conversing, and that's what you want, because again, I'm not trying to impress the world. I'm focusing on influencing my small pond, where I'm a big fish in, and that's all you need to be. You don't need to worry about if you have 100,000, maybe you have 1,000 people following you. If 1,000 people following you and there are 10,000 people in your niche, don't you see how powerful that is? Don't you see what I'm talking about? You have some of those decision makers that are following you. Come on, man, that's what you want. So the share personal experiences, my golf game, maybe I went on a hike with my family, and 3 things I thought about. I've self-improvement with my health. Here's what I want to do to make myself healthier. I'm going to run a marathon, personal stuff. But again, it relates to people, and everyone wants to, improve in their life. And it's great to be able to watch someone in public trying to do that, or somebody that's vulnerable to talk about it, because it motivates and inspires them to be able to talk about it. Again, it may not necessarily be like, buy my manufacturing software for HR, but they're going to see it and they're going to say, all right, this guy is relatable. Let me connect with them and start the conversation. Keep at it, kid. Let's, golf whenever you're in Milwaukee. So now I will connect with that person and start conversing. They're one of the people in my network, and we're traveling and we're in Milwaukee. I'm going to hit them up and say, hey, they're a prospect. I'm coming to Milwaukee in the next 2 weeks. Mention golf game, would love to go and golf with you as long as you don't make fun of my handicap. But now I'm going out with someone to go talk to them, and that could be a good opportunity. The point is, LinkedIn content around things that are relatable goes a long way. The last one I want to share is trends and data. The beautiful thing about this, if you're working for a SaaS company, you probably have some trend you're seeing in the industry, and your buyers love it. So here's something that I shared. I talked about this before. I learned it from HubSpot. About 43% of executives said they discover new solutions on LinkedIn, on social media. But LinkedIn obviously is a place where most of them camp out. The point there is that they're looking for insights and things that can help them solve business problems. So if you, my friend, have data, share that stuff. If your company does a white paper at the end of the year, talk about that. Here's some of the findings that we've found this year. Maybe it's an industry report from an association that you're part of. They have a bunch of reports that they share every year. You take some of that stuff and you share it. Here's one of the things that we saw in the manufacturing space is that 72% of manufacturing are saying that they're increasing their efforts in the United States, getting more opportunities, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's great because I see the improvement in my factory, but I don't know if that's something going all around, but I'm seeing it all around. Great. This gave me verify what I was talking about. This person shared great insights. I'm going to keep following them. And that's how it works. Simple as that. But 3 types of posts, I'll repeat them. 1, mistakes. 2, maybe personal experience, a journey you're on. And number 3, the trends or insights that you're finding in industry. If you could do those simple types of posts, and if you want to know how you can write those, just go ahead and connect with me, Donald C. Kelly on LinkedIn, or you can go to thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn, thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. We do have a course, and that is for LinkedIn prospecting. And the beautiful thing about it, as you jump into that course, you get an opportunity to connect with other sellers and to be able to party and learn and improve. We guarantee you 3 appointments per week from LinkedIn if you were to do the course. If you're not getting 3 appointments, then something wrong. Check it out. Go to thesalesevangelist.com/LinkedIn. As always, I want you to thrive. I want you to succeed. I want you to raise the level of thinking. I want you to post content. And I want you to go out and do big things. See you in the next one.